I am finally giving my toilet room, water closet, whatever you want to call it, a makeover. Every time I walked into this space, I felt like my bathroom and I just had some unresolved issues. But then I did this.
Oh, yeah.
You're the only one I think about, yeah. You're the only one for me. The only one I care about, yeah.
Okay, so before we get into the rest of this makeover video, thank you so much for being here. Okay, I didn't have a strict budget before going into this project, but I did think to myself, it would be really great if I can do this project for under $150. I went over $150, but I did keep it under $200, which I think is still really good. And how was I able to do this? Well, one, a lot of the items, the decor items that I have in the space, I already had. So I was able to reuse some of the things that I already had. The second thing was that instead of getting a gallon of paint of the two different paint colors that I used, I got a quart because it was a smaller space. I was hoping and praying that I could get away with using a quart of paint versus a gallon, and by that much, I was able to get it done with the darker color. With the white, I still have plenty of paint left, but with that darker color, yeah, I almost had to go buy another quart of paint, but I was able to save there. I think each can of paint costs about $18 each versus about $37 each. Another way that I was able to cut costs by a little bit was instead of going with a semi-gloss paint, I went with a satin finish. Typically in my home, everywhere I would use eggshell, but in bathrooms and kitchens, I would go with a semi-gloss because, you know, those walls tend to get dirtier easier. There's moisture in the bathroom. And so just having a semi-gloss paint makes it easier to clean. So I went somewhere in the middle and I went with a satin finish paint. And satin is still good for cleaning and it can still get the job done, but it costs less. So I was able to save a little bit there. Another thing, I don't have a lot of equipment. I don't really have any equipment. I don't really have any equipment. So for my birthday, for Christmas, for all the things that are coming up, I want to get tools. Okay. I would like to be gifted with tools, whether I gift it to myself or those who love me and care about me. Tools would be great for gifts. But I don't have a nail gun, and that would have been very helpful in this process. So instead of using a nail gun, my dad really, he used screws where necessary, and where we really didn't want to have to do too much patching, over screws, we went with liquid nail. Now, using liquid nail did make it a little bit more difficult because it was sliding and we had those kinds of issues. But for the most part, we figured it out. We got it to work and I was able to save by not having to purchase equipment that I don't already have. Another thing happened when I went to create some wall art. I wanted to print pictures of like seashells on the beach and stuff like that. And when I went to actually print it, the color ink on my printer was like done. So it was not pretty. So I adjusted, and what I ended up doing was printing word art instead of a picture. And I was able to print it using black ink, and I got that done. So I didn't have to run out and spend $100 on a pack of ink, which was also good. So those were some of the things that I did to save. And what I will say is that when you give yourself a budget, it does push you to be more thoughtful and more intentional with your purchases. It does force you to be a little bit more creative with how you're going to get things done. And in that respect, I guess it was good to challenge my brain a little bit. Not that I have that many brain cells left, but it was good to, it made me feel a sense of accomplishment. Like, wow, I got this all done for under $200. Whippy! You know, so if for nothing else, it just made me feel a little bit better about myself. So I would encourage you to, if you can, work with a budget. Even if your budget is $10,000, you know, just give yourself a budget to kind of work within so that you can be more intentional and stretch your creativity and your imagination with what can be done. Okay, so I've done enough talking, but I wanted to give you that information before we get into the rest of this video. So let's get back to it. So now all of the main construction hard work is done and it's time to decorate the space. So I want to give my dad a shout out, always being there for me, always making things happen and being my partner. And if you are enjoying this video, please go ahead and like it. If you are not already following, go ahead and subscribe. Let's connect. Let's stay in community. And this is what the finished product looked like before vacuuming and decorating the space.
Life is short. Enjoy bathroom breaks. Enjoy the bathroom breaks.
I like that.
but it has to be all